Welcome to my third episode of Dvalin's Tavern, your go-to gaming podcast. As you know, Dvalin's Tavern is the podcast that is all about gaming, interviews, news, roundtable discussions, and, reviews. And if you're new to this podcast, welcome, listeners. My job here is to fill you with gaming news or whatever that is gaming oriented. And I have been sitting down and trying to find an interesting agenda for today, which topics we should talk about. And I do think I have found some pretty neat topics to talk about. So let's go through the agenda. So instead of you just have to listen to each topic one by one, I will tell you the agenda now so you know what is coming. But let's get to it. The first thing we're going to talk about is Valve's next game is reportedly an Overwatch-style hero shooter called Dreadlock. Oh, sorry, not Dreadlock. Deadlock, not Dreadlocks. No, that's some other stuff. So basically, Valve is producing a new game right now, which is basically an Overwatch type of game, but more on that very soon. Amazon Games is also developing a new Lord of the Rings MMORPG in collaboration with Embraces Group's Middle-earth Enterprise. I mean, they basically, just the Middle-earth guys who has the IP, and then Amazon is probably the guys who actually are making the game. But more on that also soon. A Nintendo Direct announced for June, and also upcoming Switch games is revealed, and there's no news on successor, the next console for Nintendo Switch, sadly. But more on that as well. And then we're also going to talk just a bit about Songs of Conquest, which is a brand new game that just came out of early access and is now out in 1.0. But more on that as well. God damn, I just said more on that 4 times. I should really get a new script. Well, let's get to it. So, Valve is currently right now making a brand new game, which in my opinion, from the leaks I've been seeing, is heavily inspired by Overwatch. And okay, let's get to it. So basically, they are currently making a brand new game, which when you look at the gameplay clips, it actually looks like a neo version of Team Fortress. But the way the game is actually going to work with lanes and stuff like that, it looks like if you take Dota and Counter-Strike, or actually Dota and Team Fortress possibly, and throw it into a game, which is now an Overwatch competitor. It's quite interesting, actually, honestly. So I got some info that I'm going to read up for you about the game, which we know so far. So information about Valve's upcoming game has surfaced online. Valve journalist Tyler McWicker released a YouTube video claiming that the game, titled Deadlock, is currently in closed alpha testing and an official announcement is expected soon. Sorry for that. It's reported that the competitive gaming YouTubers are already testing the game under a non-disclosure agreement, NDA. Despite these agreements, numerous screenshots of Deadlock have been leaked. On the X, formerly Twitter account, Gabe Follower, provided the first details describing Deadlock as a third-person hero-based shooter featuring a 6 vs 6 match on a large maps with 4 lanes. The game includes abilities, items, and tower defense mechanics set in a fantasy steampunk world. These features are reminiscent of Valve other games like Dota and Team Fortress 2, as well as titles from other companies such as Blizzard's Overwatch, Riot's Valorant, and Hi-Res Smite. As of now, Valve CEO Gabe Newell has not officially announced Deadlock. IGN has reached out to Valve for a statement, but has not so far gotten an answer. And as we know, summer game, whatever it's called, the same guy who makes, I can't even remember what he's called, the same guy who has the game of the year event is hosting also like this summer gaming event. And I wouldn't be surprised if we're going to see an announcement to that event. Was it on his event that they actually announced Counter-Strike, the new Counter-Strike, or was it not? I can't actually remember now that we're talking about it. But basically, imagine, close your eyes. No, if you're driving a car right now, don't close your eyes. But Imagine that this game is literally you're taking Dota, you're taking Team Fortress, you mix it together, and you now have a third person shooting game which has lanes, like 4 lanes, a big map, towers, abilities. Like I can I could actually see this game becoming really big, like really wow, just thinking about it. Like I'm not normally getting excited. I mean, I'm more like an MMORPG guy, but it's very rare that I get excited. And I have to admit about this one, I am actually quite excited. Like honestly, I'm excited. Because we got Valorant, which I just feel like is a Counter Strike, but just with abilities. Like I don't really see the biggest difference by Counter Strike and Valorant, and I know maybe some people is getting mad at me now, but I don't see the biggest difference between Counter Strike and Valorant. And I didn't like Counter Strike to begin with, so Valorant, of course, wasn't a game that I liked. Overwatch in my world is pretty fun, but it's first person shooter, and I'm actually more like a third person guy. That's why I love, for example, Fortnite. And getting basically the Overwatch game, which I love for Overwatch. I'm just not really into it because of the first person stuff. But getting Overwatch with a third person, which is basically this new game from Valve, I'm excited. I am honestly excited. We have, of course, seen leaks and different stuff on Twitter. I'm not gonna be sharing it here because I don't want to end up in a in a in a bad situation. Um, yeah, it's not gonna be. It's no. I'm keeping that away from this. In case, like, if you're listening to this on any podcast platforms, okay, of course you won't see anything, but this is also on YouTube where you can actually see me sitting here talking with different stuff running in the background, and it, yeah, let's just keep away from showing any leaks because we don't. But we can talk about it because literally Aries media, news media that is gaming oriented is talking about this right now. So we should be fine talking about it. I mean, everyone in the world is talking about it, so why shouldn't we? But we actually don't really have that much more to talk about this game. I just kind of wanted to update you that Valve is making this new game, which is kind of like an Overwatch style third person game, but Overwatch is more like, I guess Overwatch is closer to Call of Duty when it comes to objectives, what you have to do. Like, there's always some kind of like objective you have to do. Like, you have to conquer this post on the map, so you have to hold it now for 30 seconds to win. You have to get this object from here to here. It's very like battleground based, but it sounds like this is actually going to be an Overwatch game, which is MOBA like. It's actually going to be a MOBA, third person MOBA, which I know today we already got Smite. And you could probably say, why don't you just play Smite if you love third person and MOBAs? Well, I don't know what's up. I haven't tried Smite 2, but I don't know what's wrong with Smite 1, but I just feel like it's so stale. I don't know what to say, but it feels wrong. It feels like it's I don't know, just moving your character, everything about the game just feels weird. But I really hope Smite 2, I was about to say Overwatch, Smite 2 is going to be more interesting. But we'll see when it comes out. But again, back to Deadlock. I'm excited, but this is all we have so far. But when the big, all the, June is going to be full of gaming news. There's going to be so many gaming events. And once we get to June, I am pretty sure we will have gotten an announcement, especially if all the big stars are playing this game right now. We have leaks all over Twitter /X, and they pretty much, I feel like, gotta do something now about telling us about this game. But let's see. Let's move on. So Amazon Games is currently developing a new Lord of the Rings MMO in, of course, collaboration with Embracer Group's Middle-earth Enterprise. That is, of course, the Middle-earth Enterprise is, of course, the company who actually owns the Lord of the Rings IP. And every time someone wants to make a game, a TV series, and whatever they want to do, every time some of them wants to do something with Lord of the Rings, they have to contact Embracer Group's Middle-earth Enterprise to actually say, hey, we want to use your IP to do this. Or I could also imagine Embracer Group would contact some other companies and be like, hey, we could like this. Can you help us getting it? And I got some news here for you. So Amazon Games is developing a new Lord of the Rings MMORPG in collaboration with Embracer Group's Middle-earth Enterprise. This new game will be set in the expansive world of Middle-earth, drawing from the stories of both The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings, literally trilogy by J.R.R. Tolkien. The game is currently in early stages of production, and it will be developed by Amazon Games' Orange County studio, which is known for their successful MMO, New World. So, yeah. So the same guys who made New World is basically going to make Lord of the Rings MMO. And I know a lot of people is probably going to say, oh no, I don't like New World. The game doesn't have many players right now. The server structure, a lot of things is a problem in New World. Oh no, I don't like this. There's a lot of negative feedback about when it comes to New World. Just look at the numbers. They don't have many players playing right now. But what I feel like is that I don't actually think we have to be, we don't have to be, what can I say? We don't have to be nervous. Because I think New World was more like, it was basically how I see it. If you go to an audition to become an actor, you might be first in a few bad movies. You might have to like take roles you don't like, but you need to do it because you need something on your resume. You need something on your IMDb profile to show that you have actually done acting before. I feel like this was Amazon's attempt saying, hey, look at us. We actually made an MMORPG. We actually sold so many copies that we have enough money now to make more games. We actually, this is just proving we have an engine we have made ourselves. We can actually do games. We're going to do better next time. We learn from this. We are now a studio that is strong and we know from our failures, but we're now ready to make a better game. And this is what I feel like is going to happen with the Lord of the Rings MMO. All the mistakes they did in No World is not going to be there in the new Lord of the Rings MMO. Please, if anyone from Amazon is listening to this, don't use the same server structure as you do in New World. It sucks. Having a server where you can only be online 2,000 players is really bad. So if someone from Amazon is hearing this, please don't do the same server structure. Do something like the other games where you have one big server or something like that. You don't do the same server structure as New World. That was really, really bad. Okay, so let's move on. The game aims to create a persistent open-world adventure offering players an immersive experience in Tolkien's universe. Amazon Games plans to publish the title globally for both PC and consoles, while specific details about the gameplay and launch timing have not been disclosed yet. The development team is focused on ensuring the game does justice to be rich lore and expansive settling of Middle-earth. This project marks Amazon's second attempt at creating Lord of the Rings MMO. Their previous attempt in partnership with Liu Technologies was cancelled back in 2021 due to contractual disputes following Tencent's acquisition of Liu. However, the renewed effort, Amazon Games is committed to deliver a high-quality game that appeals to both fans of the franchise and MMO enthusiasts. For more details and updates, you can follow the announcements from Amazon Games on their official websites and related news outlet. So basically, this is news that I've been getting from the official Amazon Games website and also some from MMORPG.com. So thank you for that. So basically, this is old news, but back in 2021, there was actually Lord of the Rings MMO that was cancelled. Amazon was building a new MMO that was focused on Lord of the Rings together with this Liu Technologies until they actually got bought by Tencent. Tencent is also a really, really, really big player in the gaming industry. I mean, just look at how many companies, just try and Google Tencent, and you will see how many of the gaming companies you play games from right now, how much they own, like how many percentage they own of different companies. Like it's insane. There's a lot of people who doesn't hear about them, but they are everywhere. So I can imagine, you have very big Amazon who is building the game together with this maybe little studio Leo Technologies. I don't know how big they are. Sorry. If it's a big company, I'm sorry. But so imagine big Amazon is making games together with Leo Technologies. Suddenly Leo Technologies is getting bought up or acquired by Tencent. Uh-oh. Suddenly you have two very big companies like Amazon and Tencent who are looking at each other like, we want most out of this game. And Tencent could be like, no, we want most out of this game now. And then I can imagine these two giants have basically been saying, yeah, we're not gonna work together. I can see how this oh yeah, you just have these very big two alpha companies who's like, the great game you're making. Well, I can't comment on this really because we don't know what happened. Maybe it just got automatically canceled because they got bought up by Tencent and they don't like Tencent because it's a competitor. We actually, well, I actually don't know, but still it got canceled because of this acquisition. But now Amazon is back and Embracer Group Middle Earth Enterprise is now backing Amazon up and saying, we believe in you. We have seen your successful New World game, and we definitely believe that you can deliver a successful MMO to us. And this is what this is not Amazon. This is what Embracer Group Middle Earth Enterprise really needs because today, yes, we do have a Lord of the Rings MMO. Yes. But I'm not gonna play that. And you might ask me why, and I can give you 100 reasons. First of all, the graphics looks like something from when I was born. That's a long time ago. Secondly, the interface, the UI, is really bad. The spells looks like, I don't know even what it looks like. It's just like a sword with a green background. It's like, why have you not updated the game? Like it seems, I don't know who controls this the old Lord of the Rings MMO, but why are you not updating the UI? Why are you not updating the icons and the spells? Why are you not upgrading the graphics? Like, World of Warcraft has been out for a long time. Guild Wars 2 has been out for a long time. They at least upgrade their game. What is going on with this Lord of the Rings MMO? Why can't they do the same things? I know there's some rumors that they're going to upgrade a bit of stuff now, here and then, but still it's like, what have you been doing in all those years? Maybe you have some people who owns the company who's like, we like this is fine, all is good. And I know also there's been some things with new publishers and no publishers, and there's been a lot of things about this game. But yeah, I'm not trying to talk bad about the Lord of the Rings MMO we currently have. It's probably really cool. It has probably a tons of content and so on. I just don't want to play a game that looks like a game that came out, many years ago. I at least want a game where I know the developers care about updating the game so it feels a bit more modern. But I respect the people who still plays it because they feel like it's a good old school game that has old school graphics. I totally respect that. So no disrespect against you. I'm just saying, I was just purely saying the game is not for me because it is so outdated. So that's everything I have to say. But again, I could easily boot it up. I'm sure I could have a few hours of fun in it. It's not even that long time ago since I played it, but I can't stick with it. I just can't. I know, no, I can't. No, it's impossible. But yeah, so that was the news about the new Lord of the Rings MMO that is currently in the making, and I'm sure in maybe a year or a half year or 2 years, we will be hearing more about this, but not probably right now because Amazon is doing quite a lot of things in the gaming world right now. So first of all, they are publishing Blue Protocol, which is another MMO from Japan. They're publishing Throne and Liberty, which is another MMO, which I think is from Korea. And then they also, of course, publishing Lost Ark right now, and they of course working on New World as well. So they have a lot of things on their plate right now. So yeah, and I'm sure they have another dedicated team working on the Lord of the Rings MMO right now. But we'll see. But it's pretty fun to see how Amazon is starting to publish all these MMOs and even making their own MMOs. Like, yeah, it's interesting. It's also a bit funny since you're making Amazon publish your MMO, but at the same time, Amazon is also making their own MMOs, um, which is kind of like I feel like an interest interest conflict. Because like you, of course, you want Amazon to prioritize your MMO, but I'm sure they put different people on teams. So I'm probably just thinking too much. That's probably everything. All right, let's move on to the next topic. So, Nintendo Direct announced. So, if you don't know what Nintendo Direct is, it's kind of like the big event where they show off new games. It could possibly also be a new console, but sadly, they have said no consoles news. So we have to wait for that. We have to wait. But I got some news for you. So let me read up for this. Nintendo has announced that it will be hosting a special event in June to unveil new games, joining other major video games companies in showcasing upcoming releases. And by that, it's of course Nintendo Direct, which is the big show that comes from here to there. In a recent statement on Twitter, Nintendo President Shuntaro Furukawa confirmed that a Nintendo Direct will take place in June. This presentation will highlight Switch games slated for a release in the second half of 2024. So when they say the second half, you have the first half and the second half of 2024. So everything from Q3 and Q4. However, Furukawa clarified that the event will not cover any details about the recent confirmed successor to the Nintendo Switch console. So sadly, we won't be hearing about the console, the Nintendo Switch 2.0, which I am really looking forward to, but no, we will not hear about it. He also said, we will be holding a Nintendo Direct this June regarding the Nintendo Switch software lineup for the latter half of latter? That's a weird word. Latter half of 2024. But please be aware that there will be no mentions of the Nintendo Switch successor during the presentation. That was what he said, outspoken by Furukawa. Nintendo has said it will finally announce its Switch successor within this fiscal. I don't know how you say that word. Fiscal, finance. I don't know, but it says it's written FISCAL, fiscal year. I don't know. It's called fish year. So at some point before March 31, 2025. So they have to announce the Switch. Well, that's what they say, before March 31, 2025. Which in my world is, it's not that far away. It's a couple of months. Like, okay, it's probably like around 9 months, but still, it could be any time from now till March in 2025. So it's not too bad. It means that it's around the corner, but still, I mean, we have had the Nintendo Switch in a long, long time. And I know there's a lot of developers now when they make new games, they don't want to release that game on the Nintendo we have right now because it's an old console. And you really have to like remove stuff to actually make it work. You can just see some of the comparison between some of the games that are releasing on PC and Nintendo Switch, the newer AAA games, how they have decreased the graphic qualities and just a lot of things. So I understand why some of them is like, no. If Nintendo wants our games on it, they have to come with a new console. I'm sure like some devs are thinking that way. But yeah, it will be interesting. And again, this is going to be really, really good for me in June when making this podcast because there's going to be so many things to talk about. We got Xbox Showcase. We got Activision showing stuff after the Xbox Showcase. We're going to see a new Call of Duty. We're going to see so many new things. We got PlayStation showing stuff. We got Nintendo showing stuff. We got the Summer Game Fest, which is going to show stuff. It's going to be so many gaming news. And of course, I won't be covering them all, but I will be covering the ones that I feel is interesting and important. And of course, the ones that I feel is worth taking to hear and talk about as well. So this June is going to be amazing. It's gonna be a good month, and luckily we are soon in June. So oh boy, I am ready for tons of gaming news. So make sure to stay tuned for that episode. All right, let's move on. So now as the last thing, we're going to highlight a game which is just released in 1.0. It's a brand new game. Well, brand new. It's been in early access for quite a while. But now they finally have their 1.0 and they are doing what they can to be heard. And this game is special for me because I used to play Heroes, Might and Magic back in the days when I was a kid. And I played it with my brother as well. And I played, I think, the second one and the third one, not the fourth one. I didn't like that one, but the second one and the third one I loved. And this game here, Songs of Conquest, reminds me of the game big time. And they also even was so nice of them to actually send me a copy of the game to, review. I still haven't finished that, so I can't talk about like, the review of the game yet. I can't like, give it a score and stuff like that. But still, I thought it was cool to like highlight the game. So let's go through some of the highlights they have with the game. So, Songs of Conquest is a turn based strategy game inspired by 90 classics. That's what I'm saying. Lead powerful magicians called wielders and venture to lands unknown. Wage battle against armies that dare oppose you, hunt for powerful artifacts, and expand your territory. The world is ripe for taking, seize it. For taking, seize it. Adventure awaits. Explore a wide variety of maps with diverse enemies and valuable loot. Delve into contrasting biomes, add unique factions, environments, and battlefields. Build an empire, manage resources, research new advancements, and expand your kingdom. Plan your towns to match your playstyle, while you enlist every archer you can to rain death from their bows. Or will the eternal legions of Aurelia march to war beneath your banners? So before we read even more, so as you can already hear, it is a turn-based strategy game inspired by the 90 classics. And when I say 90 classics, I'm pretty sure that is a Magic, Might and Magic it's inspired by. So if that was a game you liked, I think you gotta like this game as well. And it would be worth for you. Again, go to Steam, search up Songs of Conquest, and no, they did not pay me to make this little topic about them. They gave me a key, not that I had to talk about it. That was up to me, but I just played the game for a bit and I liked it. It's enjoyable, and I still haven't finished it. I still haven't like played a lot of it, so I'm gonna wait like with a review of it. But I did like it for so far, and I just thought like hey, I was trying to search for some news. What could I talk about for this podcast? And I was like, what? Let's highlight this game for just talk about it. Again, it's called Songs of Conquest. So let's go a bit more through what this game can offer for you. Wage war. Dive into a deep combat system using troop abilities and powerful magic. Combine troops to maximize available spells and damage potential. March into epic siege battles and determine which faction matches your playstyle and strategy. There are many ways to conquer. Play your way, handcrafted maps for the curious adventurers, or randomized maps for the endless replayability. Conquest maps allow us to head-to-head battles, while challenge maps offer strategies puzzles to hone your tactical thinking. Find a plethora of maps created by the Lava Potions team as well as our mod community. Alone or together, venture into the world of Abor on your own. Team up with a friend, or enlist AI allies and enemies. The choice is yours. The majority of maps are playable in a single player, co-op, or multiplayer through local hot seats or online. Four factions are locked in an epic conflict. Alien, knights of all battling each other for dominance. Rana, ancient tribes fighting for survival in the swamp. Lorth, necromancers raising the dead to create a glorious future. Barrier, bold mercenaries and investors. Investors, what the hell? Inventors, dedicated to coin, gunpowder, and independence. 4 choral campaigns. Listen to the bards as they celebrate your path to victory. Each campaign comes with a unique song that tells the tale of your rise and ruin. Unlock new verses as you complete missions, enjoying the full track at the end of the journey. The in-game map editor allows you to create your own adventures using the same tools the developers use to create campaigns and skirmish maps. Script in-game events, control the soundtrack, write dialogues, and share your creation with others. So again, this game, as you probably heard now, has 4 factions. It has 4 campaigns. You can play it together, co-op, against people, PvP, PvE, basically play together or play against people. You can build your own maps. You can play randomized maps. You can play the campaign, of course. So if you are into turn-based strategy games, where it has a bit taste of the Might and Magic games back in the days, I think this game would be enjoyable for you. But again, go to Steam, look it up. Songs of Conquest. Let me know if you enjoy the game. But again, not sponsored at all, even though they gave me a key. But still, I just wanted to highlight the game since I like it. I'll probably be talking more about it in a later episode when I actually have played it a bit more. I've already recorded it, but I will also be uploading my first impressions of the game, which you might enjoy. So if you want to see like a 40 minutes of me playing the game, there's a first impression soon on my YouTube. You find it on youtube.com/DvalinDK. So yeah, that was Songs of Conquest. More about that game in another episode once I actually have played the game and even more. I just wanted to, talk to all my Might and Magic fans out there who might are looking for a new game which could give you the same enjoyment you got from Might and Magic back in very long time ago. Yeah, all right. So that was actually everything for me today. We have now talked about Deadlock, which is a potentially upcoming game from Valve. We have talked about the new Lord of the Rings MMO. We have talked about Nintendo Direct and the new Nintendo Switch, which has to come out has to be announced before March in next year. And also we had a quick talk about Songs of Conquest and the game if you are into turn-based games. So exciting episode, don't you think? And again, after this video, I will already start on, script for the next video. If you have any ideas about what I should talk about for the next episode, please do contact me on Discord. Again, you should be able to find a Discord link if you go to my YouTube, youtube.com/DvalinDK, or you can find me on twitch.tv/Dvalin. You will be able to find a Discord link. You can write to me there. You can leave a comment on this. I'm basically on a lot of podcast platforms. Some of them allows you to do comments, some of them doesn't. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you can of course just let me know in the comment section. But if you have any suggestions about what to talk about in the next episode, if you're like, oh my god, this game just released, or oh my god, this game is coming out next month, could you please talk about it? I would love to hear you talk about it. Let me know. I mean, I love getting suggestions. In my last episode, I was talking about Marvel Rivals, which actually came from a comment. There was a comment. I'm so sorry I can't remember who made the comment, but I got the comment where he was like, you should talk about this game. It's coming. It's people just play it right now in alpha. It's like, that's a good point. Thank you for that. So if you have any comments about which games to talk about next time, let me know. But don't worry, if I don't get comments, I will of course still find materials. I'm good at that. So thank you for listening to Dvalin's Tavern. It's been a pleasure having you to listen to me. And again, I am on YouTube where you can actually watch me sit here and talk, or you can listen to my voice on all podcast platforms. I'm trying to be on every podcast platform. If you have a podcast platform that you like, I'm not on, let me know, and I will do my best to be on that platform as well. So thank you for listening. Stay awesome. And again, Dvalin's Tavern is your go-to gaming podcast, and I'm excited for making episode 4 next time. And again, I am focusing to get out 2 episodes every single week, as they also call bi-weekly, which actually can mean either every second week or 2 times a week. It's a weird word, but it is what it is. So thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time. Peace out.